Welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're tackling something I know we all feel, the absolute hair-pulling chaos of the modern corporate workday. I mean, you start your morning with so much optimism, right? You've got your hot cup of coffee, you're ready to go, but then the emails just flood in. The instant messages start pinging relentlessly, and suddenly, you aren't really working anymore. You're literally just surviving. Well, today, we're diving into some source material that completely flips the script on workplace stress. We're going to break down exactly how you can reclaim your time, protect your sanity, and actually get your most important work done using two incredibly powerful techniques. Our source material hits the nail on the head here. It points out that all it takes is for one single meeting to run just 15 minutes long, and boom, your entire day collapses like a house of cards. And honestly, that is the reality, isn't it? It causes immense stress. You've got these back-to-back commitments packed so tightly together, and the exact moment someone talks slightly too long on a conference call, your 11 a.m. completely bleeds into your 11:15 a.m., you end up skipping lunch, your afternoon turns into a scramble, and you just leave the office feeling completely defeated. It's this awful cascading failure. But what if we could build a daily structure that doesn't just topple over at the slightest breeze? Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. Defensive Scheduling Basics. Building your armor. So the source text recommends this brilliantly simple solution, creating what they call a buffer block. This is a very specific daily block of time, we're talking roughly 30 to 45 minutes, placed strategically in the early afternoon. Now you might be wondering, why the early afternoon? Well, because that's usually exactly when the morning's unexpected disruptions have piled all the way up and the fires are burning the hottest. This buffer is explicitly designed to absorb those shocks. It's your dedicated, built-in time to handle those random pop-up emergencies, return an urgent phone call, or, let's be real, just catch your breath for a second. By actually planning for the unexpected, you ensure that those random emergencies don't completely derail your primary objectives for the rest of the day. But to make this actually work in a fast-paced corporate environment where, your calendar is probably shared openly and literally anyone can just drop a 30-minute invite onto your schedule, you have to practice defensive scheduling. You simply cannot leave empty white space on your calendar and just cross your fingers that people will ignore it. No way. You have to actively block out your deep work. The source material suggests labeling these blocks publicly as focus time or project development. You are essentially staking a claim on your own schedule. You're communicating to your entire organization that this time is already spoken for, and it's strictly dedicated to high-value output. Section 2. Communicating your boundaries. Now, I know setting boundaries in an open access culture can feel pretty intimidating, but the text outlines exactly how to do this without feeling a single shred of guilt. Step 1. Communicate your boundaries proactively. Don't wait for someone to get mad that you didn't reply right away. Tell your team in advance exactly how you operate. Let them know you'll be checking your messages at specific, set intervals. You aren't ignoring them forever, you're just batching your responses so you can focus entirely on your high-priority deliverables. When you calmly explain the why behind your boundaries, that it's to ensure the most important work gets done at the absolute highest quality, people genuinely respect it. Now, this requires a massive mindset shift for a lot of us. We often have this fear that setting firm boundaries makes us look unapproachable. We worry people will think, oh, they aren't a team player. But the source text makes a really profound point here. Defending your time actually makes you incredibly reliable. Think about it for a second. Who is honestly a better teammate? The person who is always instantly replying on Slack but constantly misses deadlines and turns in sloppy work because they're so distracted? Or the person who goes heads down for 2 hours but consistently delivers flawless, high-priority work right on time? Defending your time makes you the reliable one. Section 3. The Infinite List Trap. Okay, let's pivot from the calendar over to the to-do list. Infinite 30-item to-do lists are total psychological traps. Our source points out that these massive, running digital documents are completely counterproductive. I mean, when you sit down at your desk and stare at a list with 30, 40, or maybe even 50 bullet points on it, it induces crippling decision fatigue before your workday even really starts. You end up spending more energy just trying to figure out what to do than actually doing the work. It's a trap that literally makes you feel behind schedule the second you wake up. Section 4. The Ultimate Fix. The Rule of 3. And this brilliantly illustrates our next point. The core philosophy here hinges on just one number: 3. Not 30, not 10, 3. The entire strategy requires narrowing your daily focus down to this absolute minimum. So to actually implement this, the source material requires you to ask yourself one crucial question every single morning. What are the 3 specific outcomes that, if achieved today, will make this day a complete success. You have to ask yourself this question daily to cut through all the noise. Out of all the meetings, all the endless emails, all the busy work, what are the 3 things that actually matter? Because if you get these 3 things done, you win the day, regardless of whatever else catches on fire. And here's where it gets practical. We are moving away from that infinite digital list hidden in some app on your computer, and we are moving to a physical index card. The text heavily emphasizes the physical act of writing these 3 outcomes down on a tangible piece of paper. There's just something incredibly powerful about pulling those tasks out of the digital ether and putting them on a physical card that sits directly in front of you on your desk. Those 3 things, they are your reality. Everything else, every other ping, request, and minor task, is strictly secondary. But listen, there are strict rules for executing this. You absolutely must finish your 3 primary outcomes completely before you are allowed to move on to administrative maintenance. Things like filing emails, organizing folders, or checking off minor chores. Not a moment before. You cannot touch the administrative maintenance until the 3 primary outcomes are totally complete. It forces you to actually do the hard, important work while you still have the energy, rather than tricking yourself into feeling productive by knocking out easy, irrelevant tasks. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a direct challenge drawn straight from the text. What are your 3 specific outcomes for today? Seriously, don't wait until tomorrow. Take out a pen, grab a piece of paper, and write them down right now. Block your calendar, protect your time, proactively communicate your boundaries, and tackle those 3 things. You absolutely have the tools to stop just surviving the workday and start commanding it. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.